Hello and welcome to this week's weekly wind-up with me, Helen Ashcroft. Coming up on today's show, we'll be discussing two topics. The first one, making your life easier by taking away the stresses and strains we seem to have in our lives. Okay then, so Tee, tell me a little bit about hypnotherapy. How long have you been doing it and what is it?
I've been doing hypnotherapy now, Helen, for about 3.5 years.
Right.
Hypnotherapy can be described as a form of deep relaxation.
Okay.
When I perform hypnotherapy with my clients, it allows them to go into a deep trance. It's almost like them being a light sleep or towards a heavy sleep.
Okay. Now, George, we asked you just before we started filming if you understood what this was and whether or not you'd had it, and you said that you hadn't had it?
No, I've never had it before.
But what did you think it was when we first said hypnotherapy?
I've had a mate before that went to a show and he got hypnotised by one of the actors or performers on stage, and he got put on stage in front of everybody.
Right.
So that's the kind of thing I thought it was, obviously not.
Okay, well that means that you're going to learn something today, doesn't it?
Indeed.
So, hypnotherapy, it's about going into a deep trance?
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, Helen, when I put my clients under hypnosis, it allows them to go into deep trance.
Right.
In our everyday lives, we don't always give ourselves time to relax and give ourselves time to get in touch with what we call our subconscious,
Right.
which is the main part that drives us. Within our subconscious, there's lots of memories, there's lots of things that we've experienced from an early age. When I put my clients under hypnosis, it allows them to get in contact with those things which they put at the back of their minds. And these may be things which may have affected them in their normal everyday sort of life. And they could be issues which affect them in terms of the sort of phobias that might have. They might be scared of things like spiders or snakes.
Yeah.
And they may be scared of doing things like flying.
Yeah.
And I help clients as well who lack confidence and self-esteem.
Right. Okay. I mean, looking at your banner, I can see that there's an awful lot of things. So
Yes.
this one therapy, this hypnotherapy, it does all of those then?
Yes, yes.
So say somebody decided that they had, let's pick one off your banner, let's say panic attacks.
Okay.
Okay, so they contact you and it's affecting their everyday life. So talk me through what would happen from somebody initially making that call to you.
Okay, well what I do, I arrange an appointment.
Right.
I carry out an initial consultation, which is free. That allows me to, for when the client comes to see me, I
Yeah.
get them to fill out a questionnaire.
Yeah.
And that allows me to find out a little bit more about them in terms of their professional life, their personal life, how long has the issue been affecting them. I look at their family background, what they do for a living, and then I go through a checklist and ask them what sort of activities they enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And then I ask them how long the problem's been an issue. Ask them things about whether they're on any sort of medication. I ask them about their lifestyle, their eating habits. I ask them if they have problems sleeping, just to get an overall picture. So that way I can tailor my therapies to suit them.
Okay, so I get that bit. So they come to you,
Yes.
not you go to them. Right. So you've done all that. Now, George, you thought that in this situation you'd get totally hypnotised and you'd probably end up standing on one leg and making all sorts of funny noises perhaps,
Yep.
because that's the hypnosis side. So what do? Do you just sit and have a chat, or how does it actually work?
Yeah, I mean, through my training, one of the key points that I was taught about was to build rapport with my clients.
Yeah.
And that is the easiest way, or the most effective way for them to feel safe and secure, and they can exercise an element of trust before they actually come and see me and book in for a session. So the session, the initial consultation also gives them a little bit of a history about hypnosis, because a lot of clients that come to see me, they have this misconception about hypnotherapy. As George pointed out, a lot of people who've had experience of hypnosis or hypnotherapy is from what they see on the stage.
Yeah.
They see the entertainment value.
Yes.
I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, so I help them with the emotional side of things.
Right. Okie dokie. So they'll come in and they'll sit down and then...
I've got a clinic based in Lindley.
All right, okay.
So they sit in my chair.
Yeah.
I've got some headphones.
Yeah.
And the headphones help them to go under a deeper trance.
Right.
And it helps them to understand the suggestions that I'm giving to them while they're under hypnosis.
Yeah.
Because it's more intensified.
Right.
So that allows it to stay within their subconscious for a lot longer.
Okay. I mean, I find that interesting. So you've said that you've been doing it, you know, relatively a short period of time.
Sure.
What got you into it in the first place?
I could say that I was hypnotised once by Paul McKenna.
A bit like being on stage, like George said.
And through that experience, I was under the whole stage hypnosis.
Yeah.
I was made to dance like Michael Jackson.
And did you?
I did, yes.
Oh, very good.
I was fully in control of what I was doing.
Right.
I was fully awake, even though I was under trance. That wasn't the thing that made me do it, by the way. Since then, well, for about 15 years or so, I've been into alternative therapies. I did a counselling course about 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And during my course, my colleagues said to me, "Oh, you've got a voice for hypnotherapy." So that just made me think, I could do this. So for me, it was a continuation from my counselling.
Right.
I've also done neuro-linguistic programming,
Yes.
which kind of links into hypnotherapy. So that was the main driver for me to want to start doing hypnotherapy.
Wow. I have to say, you have actually used hypnotherapy on me, haven't you?
I have indeed, yes.
Yes. So the reason being, I actually went for a little taster session, and what you did was quite surprising, because I sat in that chair and I said, it won't work. It is not going to work on me. And yeah, you sat me down and you put the earphones on and you sat there with your deep voice, which is a very deep and calming voice, I have to say.
Thank you.
And I did what you said that I had to do, but it worked, because I have had it before previously, when I was trying to deal with something a long time ago, and I just fell asleep and started snoring. So I don't think that particularly worked for me. It did relax me because I was snoring, but it wasn't the result I wanted. You, on the other hand, you actually did something, but it wasn't scary, and it just was so calming. And when I came round from it, I can still remember it, and like now I'm actually replaying what you said, and yeah, it has had an effect, and that was just a little session. So for me, it was a little session and it worked. It did have an effect on me. Let's come back to what we were saying. So let's go back to the panic attacks. How long would it take for somebody who's come to you because, you know, the stresses of everyday life, they've really got to them, as, you know, the way that the world is at the moment. How long would it take to cure?
That's a difficult question to answer. I can give my clients a rough time scale about how many sessions they may need, because everyone's different. And I'm able to say to my clients, or give them a rough idea, depending on how long they've had the issue. Okay, so for example, if someone's had an issue such as anxiety for the last 15, 20 years, it will take a number of sessions to allow them to get to a point where they can address those issues.
Right.
And a lot of that is taken from the consultation, when I get to know a lot more about my client. And then from then, they come to me for one session. And then after the session, when they come out for the next session, then I fill in a form which they can assess themselves. And based on the evaluation that they've given themselves, that determines how well the treatment's working. So initially, I might say you might want to come for 4 to 6 sessions, but it's up to the client to decide if they feel that once they've addressed their issues, they'll turn around and say, "T, thank you very much, I don't need to come and see you anymore." But I will always give them the opportunity, if they feel that they need to come back at a later date, because we all live busy lives, we have different things going on in our lives, personal issues, work issues, which may affect that person's ability to stay focused and not start to experience the anxiety or panic attacks that they've had previously.
Okay. Well, it sounds really, really interesting. So, having heard this now, George, if you got any of these things going on here, or you knew of somebody that had any of these things going on here, is it something that you may now consider signposting them onto a hypnotherapy session? Yeah,
definitely. Now that I've heard from a point of view as well, from someone that's actually had the experience of the therapy, that it does work, because I think maybe people would have that conception on that prejudiced view that it wouldn't work
Sure.
straight away without even trying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good that you do data sessions for that reason.
Yeah. But thank you ever so much. It's been really, really
Sure.
interesting. So if somebody wants to speak to you in particular, because there are other hypnotherapists around, but yourself, you're based up in Lindley?
I'm at the Heritage Exchange in Lindley.
Right.
HD3 3HR.
Right.
Not a million miles away from here.
And you've got a Twitter account as well. I'm
I
sure
have to,
people
I
can
have.
pick up on that.
Yes.
And find out a little bit more about you. But genuinely, thank you ever so much. It's been a pleasure talking
Thank you,
to you.
Helen.
No problem.